Okay, so just when you thought the Chris Brown baby mama situation could not get any messier, here comes June 2026 with a whole new chapter. Because Diamond Brown is back on her Instagram story, throwing what appears to be a very pointed message at Breezy, and the timing, extremely suspicious. Like, we're talking hours after news broke that Chris reportedly fired back in their custody case. The internet clocked it immediately. Comment sections went into full investigation mode. And now, we are breaking down the entire thing from the very beginning. Because if you have been out of the loop on this one, you need all the context to fully appreciate just how layered this drama actually is. For those who might not be fully caught up, Diamond Brown is a model and social media influencer based in Los Angeles. She and Chris Brown share a daughter together, a little girl named lovely Symphani Brown, who was born on January 7th, 2022. Now, Chris Brown has 4 children in total. There's Royalty, who is 11, with Nia Guzman. There's Akko, who is 6, with Amika Harris. There's Lovely with Diamond. And most recently, in late April 2026, Chris and his current girlfriend Jada Wallace welcomed a baby boy together, making him a father of 4. But here's where things get complicated with Diamond specifically. According to reports from TMZ and Complex, Lovely has been living with Diamond in LA since she was born. And for a long time, this seemed like a quiet, under-the-radar co-parenting situation. Chris actually acknowledged Lovely publicly back in 2022. He posted about her on social media just months after she was born. He was also photographed at her first birthday party, so it was never really a secret that she was his daughter. Quiet? That did not last. Let's rewind to February 18th, 2026. That's when Diamond Brown posted something on Instagram that put the entire situation on the internet's radar in a very loud way. She called Chris out directly, telling him publicly to leave her alone. But it wasn't just that. She also dropped what felt like a major piece of information in the same breath. She wrote, "Leave Emmons alone. Worry about your baby on the way." And that last part, that set off a firestorm. Because at that point, Chris Brown and Jada Wallace had not officially confirmed that they were expecting a child. Fans had been speculating since Paris Fashion Week in January 2026. When Jada was spotted declining what appeared to be an alcoholic drink, and people thought they noticed a slight baby bump under her coat. But nobody had come out and said anything. Neither Chris nor Jada confirmed anything. So when Diamond wrote, "Your baby on the way," the internet collectively lost it. Who was she talking about? Was she confirming the Jada pregnancy rumors? And how did she know? Diamond also made something else very clear in that post. She was upset because she claimed, now, this is where it gets spicy, because Jada Wallace, Chris's rumored girlfriend at the time, did not stay quiet. She hopped on Instagram and clapped back at Diamond directly. Jada accused Diamond of being the one who was actually blocking Chris from having a relationship with Lovely. She wrote that Diamond was Trina Air business out like you, not the one that's stopping him from seeing his daughter. Jada also alleged that Diamond had been dating some of Chris's friends, seemingly to get a rise out of him. Diamond was not going to let that slide. She came right back, denied Jada's claims, and doubled down on her stance that Jada was indeed pregnant. And then, in a moment, the internet absolutely ran with. Diamond told Jada, "Wait till that baby come out. I'll whoop your AFR." It was fully unfiltered. It was messy. Chris Brown himself finally weighed in, briefly saying he was not playing internet games, which, given everything happening around him, felt like the least convincing attempt at taking the high road possible. Here's where the pop culture side of this story gets even more interesting. Because after all of Diamond's back and forth posting, some very observant internet users started digging through her comment section replies and noticed something. In response to a commenter who brought up whether Jada was actually showing or not, Diamond seemed unbothered and somewhat knowing in her reply. Her tone and word choice in certain interactions had some people speculating that she may have let the gender of the baby slip. According to the Shade Room,
already gave you the time and the
social media users were convinced that based on the way Diamond was engaging with commenters, she might have hinted that the baby was a boy. Now, to be fair, neither Chris nor Jada had confirmed anything at this point, but the internet was convinced Diamond knew more than she was saying. Whether that was intentional shade or just Diamond being casually messy, the comment sections ate it up either way. In late April 2026, when Jada and Chris officially welcomed their baby boy, it only added to the retrospective conversation. People went back to Diamond's posts and said she had basically confirmed the gender weeks before it happened. Now we get to the legal chapter of this story, because Diamond did not stop at Instagram. On April 3rd, 2026, Diamond Brown filed a paternity suit against Chris Brown in Los Angeles. Court documents, which were reviewed by both TMZ and Complex, show that Diamond attached what she described as a voluntary declaration from 2022, a document in which Chris allegedly acknowledged that he is Lovely's father. In the filing, Diamond asked the court to award her legal and physical custody of Lovely, with Chris receiving visitation rights. She also requested that Chris be responsible for covering her legal fees in the case. Now, here's what made the timing of this filing land differently. Diamond filed it on April 3rd. Chris and Jada welcomed their new baby boy just weeks later, in late April. So the paternity suit was sitting in the courts before the new baby had even arrived. The internet noticed that timing immediately. It's also worth noting that this filing came in the weeks immediately following all of that very public Instagram drama. Diamond calling him out, Jada clapping back, Diamond threatening to air it all out. None of that was disconnected. This was a situation that had been building for months, and the legal filing was Diamond deciding to stop keeping it on social media and take it somewhere with actual consequences. So Chris Brown was quiet for a while after the paternity suit dropped. But silence was not his final answer. In early June 2026, TMZ reported that Chris filed his own response to Diamond's suit, and his position: he wants joint legal and physical custody of Lovely, not just visitation. He is pushing back directly against Diamond's request for sole custody. His filing also addressed the legal fees question. Chris said each party should cover their own costs, directly countering Diamond's request that he pay hers. According to reporting from the Shade Room, and confirmed by TMZ, Chris's court documents were straightforward on one thing. He wants to be equally involved in Lovely's life and in the decisions made about her upbringing. He is not disputing that he is her father. He just does not agree with Diamond having sole control. And a judge, not Instagram, not comment sections, not fan pages, will ultimately be the one deciding this. The court's focus is Lovely's best interests, not the Twitter arguments, not the Instagram stories, just the child. And this brings us to the most recent chapter, which is what sparked this entire video in the first place. On Saturday, June 6th, 2026, right around the time news was circulating that Chris had reportedly responded to her paternity suit with a joint custody counter request, Diamond Brown hopped on her Instagram story. She reposted a text graphic that read, "I see why Father's Day is in Pride Month. Bunch of BS." She also reposted a follow-up message that read, "I'm no one's baby mama and never will be. I'm a full-time, hardworking and loving mother. I'm my child's mother and I'm a damn good one. Now check THAT." Both posts were later deleted, but the internet never forgets. Screenshots spread almost immediately. The Shade Room covered it. Comment sections filled up within minutes. Some people read the Father's Day post as a direct shot at Chris in response to him seeking joint custody. As in, if you actually want to be an involved father, why is it only showing up now in a court filing? Others said it was a more general statement, and people were reading too much into it. And then there were those who pointed out, bluntly, that Diamond had been quiet about co-parenting for 4 years before this all blew up. So the framing of hardworking full-time mother hit different to some people depending on where they stood. Furcations in the Shade Room's comment section were genuinely divided. One commenter wrote that they love Chris Brown, but that the allegations sounded on brand. Others said it was clear Diamond was only pushing legally because of child support. Some said fan loyalty should not mean giving anyone a pass on accountability. And several people pointed out that if Chris genuinely wants to be in Lovely's life, a custody counterfiling is actually him doing the right thing through the right channel. It's complicated. The public opinion on this one is genuinely split. Here's what we know for certain, stripping away all of the social media noise. Lovely Symphani Brown is a 4-year-old child who has been living with her mother in Los Angeles since she was born. Her father publicly acknowledged her existence in 2022. Custody and paternity suit is now formally before a Los Angeles court. Diamond wants full physical and legal custody. Chris wants joint custody. A judge will decide. Outside of the courtroom, Chris Brown is also in a new chapter of his personal life. He and Jada Wallace, who have been together since December 2024, are now parents to a baby boy. Chris has 4 children across 3 separate relationships. He is also currently dealing with a separate legal situation in the United Kingdom related to an alleged assault at a London nightclub in 2023. A case that was still ongoing as of mid-2026. So that's where this whole situation stands right now. A paternity suit that started quietly in April. A social media war that started even before that. A joint custody counterfiling from Chris. And Diamond, still seemingly having things to say, in a deleted Instagram story on the eve of Father's Day weekend, no less. Whether this resolves cleanly in court or continues to spill into public view, one thing is very clear. This is not over. Not even close. If you are watching this and you have thoughts, where do you stand on the custody situation? Do you think Diamond is right to push for sole custody? Or does Chris have a fair case for joint?